Glad you're here today, River Lifers. We're going to catch a bunch of fish here at the Cherry Grove Pier, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. What's happening, River Lifers? Good to see you again. I'd like for you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep in touch with all this wonderful content. Just give this video a like, check out some other ones, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for coming out, River Lifers. We're going to see it, love it, and live it. Hey guys, it won't be long. I'll be headed to North Myrtle Beach to do some pier fishing. I hope to get a lot of great content when I'm down there. Got this hurricane, this wreaking havoc down there, Florence. It's been hanging around, made landfall in North Myrtle Beach area where I'm supposed to be staying. So a little bit of tension as to whether or not I'm going to have to cancel. I'm planning on making it, so I'm going to go ahead and tie some rigs for pier fishing. I'm going to show you how I tie my pier fishing rig that I've been tying since I was a teenager. Lots of different ways to do this. Just going to show you my way. And it's quite simple, very effective, so I hope you'll stick around. It's been years since I've been able to go pier fishing. One of the last trips I was fishing for king mackerel with live bait suspended on top of the water. That takes 2 rods, pretty interesting setup there. And a huge fish grabbed my bait and it drew a crowd in a hurry. It was a 9-foot long hammerhead shark is what it was. 9-foot hammerhead shark. Although it generated a lot of excitement, calls were being made, hey, get down here, you got to see this. I thought it was a spectacle, a hammerhead shark at Folly Beach. Never heard of anything like that. I thought hammerheads were man-eaters. But the law in South Carolina says you can't keep a shark, so there wasn't going to be any landing of the shark, even though I wasn't angling for it. It was incidental that I had him on the end of my line. And then maybe to no surprise, this enormous animal who was just tearing drag off my reel at will decided to turn around and come back at me. I'm really glad I was up on the pier. And he went straight under the pier, wrapped around the pylon, and then went back out, snapped the line. Just those barnacles, line wrapped around the barnacles like razor blades, he's gone. So as quickly as he came, he left. Well, that's my big one that got away story. It's the best I've got. Leave me a comment below if you've got one of those. Okay, here we go. By the way, if you'd like to have your own River Life can koozie, lots of people are getting these days, be sure and tune in the next live stream. Probably going to give a few of these away. Probably going to give a few of those away. I've got some Berkeley Trilene Big Game 30-pound test. The first thing I'm going to do is to tie a loop. I'm going to teach you how I tie my loop. Basically, I just take the end of the line and kind of double it back on itself and get a nice size loop. Can you see that? It's just the size between my fingers there. I pinch near the end, and then I just wrap the doubled up line around my finger twice. 1, 2, and then I keep everything pinched together. The loop is much shorter now. So then I just take the loop away from me, push it away, and then turn it back to bring the loop through the double loop off the end of my finger. And then I hold everything tight and kind of tighten by expanding the loop. Get it semi-tight, moisten it with some saliva, water, whatever you got, and then just kind of pull all the different angles to tighten her down. Then you want to get rid of that fringe spool. You can test it here. I'm telling you, I've tied this knot for decades. I love it. It's simple, fast, efficient. Now, we got a little tag here. I'm going to cut that off. Got a new multi-tool here for my birthday. Riverboy got me that for my birthday. We appreciate him. He's up in Alaska, and he took me fishing a couple months ago. I've got some videos on that. I'll put a link above. Okay, that's a good line cutter. Got a loop here, okay? Now I'm going to show you how we're going to use the loop. Alright, this is a sinker that's commonly used off of piers. It's the shape of a bank sinker. They call that shape the bank sinker. But it's kind of hydrodynamic. It's 2 ounces. It'll stick to the bottom of the sand. If there's not too much motion, 2 ounces is enough. You can always go up, add weight as needed. Just going to pinch that loop we just made, make it a narrow loop, and stick it through the eyelet on the sinker. Once it's through the eyelet, then I'm going to push the sinker back through it. Okay? They call that a lark's head. It's kind of a removable fastener for that sinker. Not going anywhere, can't come off. Okay? Now, we're not finished yet. I just wanted to show you that trick because we're going to use it again and again. So it comes off easily. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take our looped line now, and we're going to come down about 6 inches. Going to hold there. We're going to come down about another 4 inches and bring the lines together to make another loop. Okay? Got another loop, and what we're going to do, we're going to repeat. 2 wraps. 2 wraps. May take a little practice, and we're going to push the loop away from us and then come back toward us through that double wrap, pulling back on the loop. Okay, tightening in all directions. Alright, now we've got 2 loops in a row. This second loop is going to hold a hook. And I'll show you in a bit. We're going to take a hook and we're going to go through the eye of the hook just like we did the eye of the sinker, and we're going to loop the hook on that way. Now, I like to try using what's called a double drop. So come down another 6 inches, make another loop. Just practice with that. You'll get the idea of how long to make your loops. You want to be able to go around your finger twice, go away from the loop, and then come back through it toward you, and then just open up the loop to tighten the knot. Tighten it in all directions. Now we have 3 loops. We're going to do it one more time because, like I said, I like to do a double drop. Top or bottom, and then hook, hook, and then we'll put another top or bottom. Same loop system. Go around your finger twice, pinch it all together, go away from those double loops, come back through the double loops toward you, and spread the loop to tighten. Tighten in all directions. Done. Okay, now clip that off. I'll take the sinker, the bank sinker, start with a 2 ounce. That's a good weight to start with. If it's rough, you can always add weight. Alright, lark's head that on there. Let's do it again. It's going to be easier to see with the sinker than the hooks. You just pinch the end of the loop that you've just tied, pass it through the eye of the sinker, then pull the loop over the bottom of the sinker, tighten. And that's called a lark's head. Okay? Now we're going to do that with the hooks also, but I'm going to take the sinker off because if the sinker is attached to the line while I'm putting hooks on and I drop it, the weight is going to pull the hook into my skin. This is a no-no. Keep the hooks out of your skin. So let's wait on the sinker for now. And I've got a couple of hooks here. I like to use a size 6 silver saltwater. It's a small curve in the wire with a long shank, so more difficult for the fish to swallow the entire hook and easier to remove for less damage, especially if you're fishing catch and release. I release most of my fish. So we want those middle 2 loops to receive a hook. So, a little trickier because the eye of that hook is so small. It's a small opening. So we got to pull the loop to its greatest distance, okay? Get it, and then pinch it. That's going to leave a little crease in it, but it's okay. And hold it as tight as you can, as small as you can, and then this hook eye is so small, you want to line the, you want to have the double lines in a vertical stack, up and down. You want to have the hook straight up and down because the greatest diameter on the hook is from where the bend comes back and meets the metal and directly above it, which is just about vertical, perfectly vertical. So if you have everything vertical, you'll have an easier time passing that double line with a little bit of pressure, not much, through the eye of the hook. Feed it through, then open your loop up and pass the hook through it. Just go right over the hook, and there you go. So that hook's on there, it's not coming off. Repeat, pinch the loop at its greatest distance. Get as close to the end as possible. Vertical stack, hook vertical, push. Now if you have trouble with this, you might want to moisten that. moisten the hook eye and or the loop. Resist friction. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a difficult one. So the line is bending rather than passing through the eye of the hook. So I've got to pinch the loop a little tighter, hold it a little closer to the end. Try again. Now I can feel the point of the hook trying to get in my thumb, so I've got to be real careful here. So I guess there's a little bit of tolerance difference in the opening of each hook. I'm kind of glad that I grabbed a difficult one here to show you. Just a little more effort, a little more patience, it goes right through. Okay, so then we spread it out, pass the hook through. It's done. Now, it doesn't matter which direction the hooks are on there. Gravity is going to work when you get bait on there. The hooks are going to hang down alongside the line, so still we can go either way for the top or bottom. Just for demonstration, I'll just pick an end. Notice all of our loops are big enough to receive the hooks and then go over the end. If it were too short a loop, we wouldn't be able to get it over the hook or the sinker. So we tie enough loop to get it over our hardware, our tackle, and there you go. So we've got a sinker and a double drop because we put 2 hooks on our rig, and then we've got an additional loop that I like to put a swivel on. That ocean is just going to move this thing. The tidal motion is just it's going to get all twisted, and so rather than have that line twist, and if it gets any slack in it, it could knot up and get a wind knot and cause you to retie an entire rig. Put a swivel there so that as soon as it comes out of the water, it'll unwind without winding and tangling your line coming back in the reel. So there you have it. This is the River Life double drop, double knot. If you've got any questions, leave me a comment and I'll try to address those. I've never lost a fish because of failure. I did use the last rig that I used that I didn't tie, a knot came loose. Fortunately, it was the sinker that came off and not a fish on the hook. But I don't trust any of the other rigs like I trust my own, and it's just because of experience. So I recommend you try this. It's easy, it's fast, it's efficient. The way I like to transport this thing is to get a sandwich bag and put all the ingredients in the sandwich bag, but don't connect them. Then when you get to the pier, take out one sandwich bag from your tackle box, put the hooks on first, and then put the sinker on. That's the way I do it. It's just a safe little sequence. I wouldn't say I'm superstitious that it brings me luck, but I'll say most of the time I go pier fishing, I catch fish even when others aren't catching them, and I think it's because you're looking at the sum total of the hardware here. It's 2 hooks and a sinker. Okay, not a lot of beads, not floats, not crimps, not metal. I think it's just more attractive to more fish, and you can definitely catch a large fish on a small hook, but it's real difficult to catch a small fish on a large hook. So I go with the size 6. If I'm target angling, I'll change that up. Flounder, large drum. Of course, I'll use some larger hooks. This is my general rig. I hope you use it and have success like I have. Here's another rig I tied myself. This is called a straw rig, and it's just a series of gold hooks tied like I tie the double drop general purpose pier rig with shorter loops. I use a little heavier line. I use 50-pound test, and I've added plastic straws to the shanks of the hooks. Any color you want will work. I choose the red and white. That's kind of a standby. Typically this is good for Spanish mackerel and bluefish, and they've always enjoyed the red and white colors with the swivel on top. And I generally go with a bank shaped sinker, about 4 ounces. For 4 of those would be a pound. That's a lot of weight. Yeah. So it's just a string with some hooks tied on it, straws put on the hooks, a weight at the bottom. You jig that line straight up and down. It looks like a school of bait fish. Causes them to go crazy. It's got some color, it's got some flash because of the gold, and you can catch multiples. catch a bunch. The Cherry Grove, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina fishing pier. Got my spot picked out over here. I think that's where the big one is. Cherry Grove Pier in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, immediately following Hurricane Florence. Not a lot of wind damage, lots of flooding going on here. As a matter of fact, the water is a tea-stained brown, more of a brackish surf than a saltwater. Crazy. In all the decades I've been fishing and running up and down the mid-Atlantic coastline, I've never seen anything like this. But this is an outstanding pier, no damage from the hurricane. Good crowd out here today. 87 degrees, feels like 97. Whew, stay hydrated, river lifers. But we're gonna catch a bunch. Stick around. Jigging a series of gold hooks with different colored straws attached on their shanks. It's a good technique for Spanish mackerel and bluefish. That was a great trip. River Wife caught the first fish of her life and then went on to catch so many more. She really put a hurting on me in the little friendly competition. She really caught a lot more than I did. She caught more than I did, and she caught more species than I did. She caught more fish. She caught bigger fish. She outfished me. She did. Good job, River Wife. No, I mean it. I'm not sore anymore. No, I hardly ever talk about it. Those were some awesome fishing trips to the piers down there in North Myrtle Beach. We did the Cherry Grove fishing pier, home of the largest fish ever caught on a pier for 40 years. It was a huge tiger shark. Look it up. And then we went to the Apache Pier. Always fantastic fishing action down there at Apache, and we met up with Captain Cook, and it was great spending some time with him, getting some basically fishing lessons, and he was so kind to show me. He's the master of the straw rig. Again, make sure you go back and click the link for his video. We went to the Myrtle Beach State Park Pier. Can't wait to go back. My catch, clean, and cook Spanish mackerel video, getting some very positive feedback. I hope you'll check that out. That was a fun video to make. It was a delicious video. I appreciate you checking that out if you already have. Thanks for stopping by and watching this video. If you would go ahead and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Hit the like button, and by all means share. I've got some live streams coming up, so drop in a live stream, say hello. If you'd like to win a koozie, a River Life koozie, we're giving those away on the live stream, so I hope to see you there. Until the next time, get out there and see it, love it, and live it.